do this. Hit stop recording.
Stop recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just let it save. I'll show you where it saves later.
Heard.
So I would say start recording, but be ready to hit the music.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you want to just hit the music now and fade it up.
Heard.
I would do that.
I know y'all probably wondering what's going on here. Okay. You know about Big John C.
Okay.
Super
recording.
engineer,
And then just go up.
extraordinary, and hit the music. Extraordinary. Well, he's changed. He's in training for. Go for it. Hit the music. Did you turn? You can let up. More. F D D D D D da. F D D D D D da. Yeah, we starting off the right way now. This is it's gonna be a celebration because Big John C just told me he's gonna kick me out. He like keep stop lying, but no. Anyway, let's start. Anyway, this is the B-roll, everybody. You know what it's about. This is the B-roll with Big John C, myself, Keith, and we got a special guest today, future engineer in training, Mr. Sergio Uptown. Boom.
Sergio is actually running the board.
He's running the board.
Yeah.
He's running the board. He's a board.
I'm just a sidekick on.
He's a board.
On Mike 2 here.
Yeah, John's a sidekick, so he want to take some equal shots at me.
Okay. I'm gonna wander in and out and monitor the stream, but
okay. I hear you. I hear that.
I feel like it's my first time out with my two crazy uncles, and it's like my first time
Yeah,
to get
this
a
guy.
beer.
I know. I feel the same way when I'm with this guy, man. Hold up. There's only one crazy uncle. Hold it. It's still two. It's
It's
one.
definitely two crazy
It's still
uncles.
two crazy uncles. So yeah. In case y'all don't know, what we got popping off now is another wonderful show. We always have wonderful shows, don't we? So everything's a little bit funky today.
it's 59 minutes.
Everything's a little funky today. Here we go. Yeah, we got a lot of things going on. And the breaking news is going to be mental health. The last show I touched on the mental health thing, and we're serious about that. You've got to pay attention to that part because that's a serious part in life. I give you a prime example. Down here in Florida, they had a young man, right, who actually, he killed his parents. Yeah, he killed his parents. He had a history of violent actions going on in there. Police, law enforcement had been apparently called to that residence for a while, and he was having these mental issues for a long time. And so it finally got to that point. So you can't, you got to acknowledge that. You can't just disregard it. Oh, no, it's no big thing. A lot of people nowadays, you hear about a lot of the, quite a few incidents where people who had mental problems were beaten by law enforcement, even killed because of their action, because they didn't know how to handle them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look into that. And hopefully the show coming up soon, TBCN will be sponsoring something like that, for mental health awareness and so on and so forth. So that being the case, that breaking news, let's go to this next bit of breaking news. Okay. You'll be happy to know there are no sharks in Michigan Lake. Where did that come from, right? Well, I'm looking at, everything's about the big guy, right? Trump. Well, not everything, but a lot of things. And he makes some of the most craziest comments and statements. You can't they're not gaffes, they're like stupid things. Because one time he had when he had one of his shows, and I gotta call them shows, right? He had one of his shows, his events, and he was talking about, I'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by sharks. I said, what? Where did they come from? Oh no, I'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by sharks. And so now he's out here in Michigan the other day, and he's having a rally or whatever, a show. He's putting on a show because that's what he is. He's a showman. He puts on a show, and he goes, the sharks, they kill you, they eat you and stuff like that. And but here, out here, and he was by Lake Michigan, right? One of Michigan lakes, and he goes, yeah, you ain't got to worry about that because there's no sharks in Michigan, right? What in the world are you talking about? It's like anytime he don't have anything to talk about, he just blabber, blah, blah. He just come out his mouth. I mean, out his face. It's like, what the? And people like, they think that's normal. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's cuckoo. That's cuckoo. He'll talk about the weirdest things. You know what I'm saying? He will literally talk about, and people try to dismiss it. Oh, he's just being he's just laughing. He's just joking. It's not serious. No, it's serious. It's serious mental decline. Serious mental decline. That's right. He's talking about all this cognitive stuff. I mean, you know about the debate. We'll talk about that later. But there's supposed to be a debate coming up, I think, this Thursday. So they lower the bar so low for Trump. It's like, and then they heighten it up for so high for Biden. And if he reaches, he was on drugs. He was on drugs. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. That's how Biden talked. If you ever look at some of the things that Biden have to say, you'll see that, hold up, this guy he's that elderly, wise person. He's been around for a long time, and he got a lot of knowledge. He's a student of the game, right? He's a student of the game. He was a student of the game who became a master at the game of articulation. That's why, he is what that's why he was a senator for 38 years. One time the youngest senator ever voted into or served in the United States Senate. That's crazy, right? Yeah. So they said, oh, he's old now. So, hey, he's old, but he still got his faculties. He may be old, but he still have his faculties. This other guy got nothing. I mean, he got nothing. Anyway, I deviate. But just to remind you, there are no sharks in Michigan. Don't hold me accountable. Hey, that's what Donald Trump said.
I actually saw a video on someone's Facebook wall. No, it was one of those videos where supposedly it shows Biden's decline or whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it was nothing. All it was it was Obama and Biden, and they were on the stage, and they're like waving to people, and then Obama starts walking off, and then Joe kind of doesn't realize that Obama's leaving, and he kind of just leads him out.
Yeah.
He kind of walks out with them. Yeah. And people are like, oh, Biden doesn't know what's going on.
Look at the mental decline that he's in. Yeah,
it's like, are we watching the same video?
Yeah, because it's like the ones where now you see Trump, he does this stuff. He'll go and he'll waving. He's waving. And we got the camera on him. The camera's focused on him, and he's waving. And then when they do the widescreen, you see he waving to nobody. It's like, who's waving to?
You're talking about Trump is not waving to anybody?
He waving nobody. It happened in New York when he had his trial. He's waving at people like, yeah. And there's like a couple people over there, and he's waving like, yeah, like a big crowd. And the other day he's getting on the plane, and he's waving, yeah, at the top of the stairs of the plane, yeah. And then they show the big zoom thing, and there's nobody there. It's literally it's the bag of handler like 3 planes away. It's like, dude, what are you doing, man? And they try to, they try to dismiss that. Like, no. I tell you, give you an example. And they should be clickbait. If Fox News showed the stuff that they show on YouTube and somebody called it clickbait, they would have to take that down. I'm serious. They would have to take it down. Example, they showed you the other day, a week and a half ago, when Biden was visiting, I think it was Europe. It was in Europe, the soldiers, the fallen soldiers, because they do that in France. And he's like looking up in the sky like that, looking around, chilling. And you just see him there. And then you see the lady come and, and tap him, right? So it looks like, oh, God, the guy's lost, And they ran with it. Fox News ran with it. Yeah. Look at him. He's just standing there looking up into the sky. But then when they showed the full wide angle of it, it was like, what the? You see like 20 people over here. And then what he was doing originally was he was talking to several people who were working out in that direction, but they only showed that sliver of him. So they was like, "Oh, Mr. President, we have to go," and he was like talking to to the workers, like, "Hey, good guy, good job, fellas, good job,
He's like,
that.
"Yo, I'm talking over here."
Yeah. He didn't do a Trump thing. Hey, what are you talking about? Hey. Let me see. You try to deviate. I deviate. It's my fault. I have nobody to blame but myself when I deviate.
It's easy to get you off track.
It's so easy. But you know what happens when I get off track? It's just so fascinating. The stuff that I use is so fascinating. That's why I'm like great. I don't want to toot my own horn. Can I get a horn? Oh, you don't know how to do this horn yet.
We might have a horn in here. Here's keep
Yeah,
talking.
we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, hit the dun dun dun, the opening music. The other opening music.
No.
The other one, the top one, the first one.
Why are we playing music in the middle
that's
of
good.
the show?
Boom, there we go. Cut it. Because I did something that was spectacular. I said something spectacular, but we didn't have to. Remember, this is a situation where we have a trainee here, and he's just doing this.
We could just start hitting sound effects while you're talking.
No, you did that. No, we way past. There we go. Yeah, that's good. Did you see that one? No, the applause. Did you see the applause thing? No, the applause. Come on, the applause. Yeah, remember that one. The applause. Remember the applause. Okay, we can cut it. We cut it. No, don't turn it down. Cut it.
I think it has to go through its full sound before it stops.
No, you can just tap the button again.
There's several ways you can do it.
Yeah. No, put it back up. There we go. He's learning. He's learning. Evidently, I'm gonna have to teach the trainee.
You're gonna be next to be trained.
The trainee. I gotta show the
You're
trainee
gonna
how
be
to do
trained
it
next
because Big John C is on vacation. Even though he's sitting right across from me, he's on vacation.
I'm on a mental vacation. Matter of fact, I'm gonna step out.
Nah, don't step off. You're on cognitive decline stuff. Yeah, what we got? Yeah, we did the mental health issue, which is a serious thing, right? I never joke about that. That's a serious thing. The sharks in Michigan Lake, right? What were we just talking about? Biden. Talking about Biden and the Fox News clickbait stuff, which I'm gonna get more into that later. Let's talk about the day is all Trump. I let him off the hook last week, right? I did. With I did. I made him mention his name, but I let him off the hook. Did you see the stunt? The Donald Trump stunt in the black church, the Michigan church? No, you probably didn't, right? You hear about it on Fox News how he went over there and all the people was over there and full of MAGA and stuff like that. And the black church, 8,000 people was in there. Only one thing. Only about 200 people could fit in there. And that's including the standing in the aisles, right? When you looked up on the stage, when they showed you the picture on the stage, film on the stage, you saw black people, right? The black pastor of the church, right? And a few other black people. But when you looked into the audience, once again, the wide screen, you look into the audience, all MAGA, white MAGA. No, literally all MAGA. It was about, in that black church, it was maybe about 3% black people. What the heck? And then when you look at some of the people that was up there, black people, they're the normal stooges, and I say stooges, that fly around with them. Like I believe that the chick from what was it, Chick-fil-A or something. He went to this restaurant and this black female runs up there. Oh, Donald Trump! Oh my God! Take the picture with me. Hey, everybody, take a picture with me and Donald Trump. Yeah, that's the same female that's like in every other picture. That's the same. I kid you not. She's the same female that's in the same picture. She's like in most of his things. She's like a stooge. Do you remember that Snoop Dogg? It was Snoop Dogg and Tupac did a song. And Snoop was in the song. It's like, yeah, they were talking about the Million Man March. And it's like, yeah, the same chicks that's in and my video is in Jam Master Jay or what Nate Dogg video, and he said that's what he said. It's the same people. He got the same people. Like you can't get nobody else from that state, from that venue in there. No, it's the same people. All this stuff is staged. And when you look at them, you hear about the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that's outside that want to get into the venues where he's speaking at. Well, why don't you just let them in? Because when you look around, you see there's a lot of room. It's like it may hold about 12,000 people, and you get about 1,000 people in there. That's terrible. I mean, that's terrible. Right? We can agree on that. That's terrible. So anyway, that was staged at the Michigan Michigan church. And they was like, afterwards, like, who you voting for? Biden? Or black people? Biden? But you hear the new thing now is that one of the founders of the BLM movement, organization, whatever they want to call it right now, said, I'm going to support Trump. Is this the same one from Rhode Island? That's what I'm thinking. They didn't show you the picture, but is this the same one from Rhode Island that was on Roland Martin? Yeah, because Roland Martin had this guy. He's a BLM. He's BLM. He's like from Rhode Island somewhere, and he's like, yeah, I support Trump, and here's why. It's the lesser of two evils. And Roland Martin started talking about it. He said, so why are you supporting Trump? He goes, because of what he does, all the great things he did for black people, for black folk, and so on and so forth. And he goes, so Roland Martin asked him, well, what did he do for black folk? And he goes, well, he did all this for the HBCUs. And he goes, hold up. Did you go to HBCU? He goes, no. I got my thing from a ministry church, and that's where I got my certification. Okay. So what do you do for black folk? And then he goes, well, he did all this for HBCUs. He gave all that money to HBCUs. And of course, Roland Martin, don't please. I don't know if you ever heard of Roland Martin. You probably heard of him. He's a portly type dude, stocky. He goes to on like all the shows. He used to do all the shows before they realized that, hold up, this guy is like a little bit too sharp. when he's in the room, he's literally the sharpest tool in the room. You know what I'm saying? He's literally, and he comes with the receipts. He does research and all this stuff. So he goes, no. That's not true. And he goes, yeah, no. He goes, no. First of all, because it was like $250 million that Trump that was given to HBCUs under Trump. Something that George W. Bush actually promoted more than Donald Trump. So he goes, no, that's not what happened. And he gives this a congresswoman from, I think, North Carolina, because who wasn't going to let the bill go through to be signed because Donald Trump exited out. He zeroed it out. Monies for HBCUs, he zeroed it out. And she was like, no, because remember, Democrats was in charge of Congress, right? So so she says, no, this bill is not going to be passed in the House unless you put that back. They put it back unless you sign it. You sign it with this money in, or it's not going to be passed in the House, period. So it had to go back in. And they give Trump credit for it. But the reality is that he just signed the bill. He had no choice. And that's what Roland Martin called. He said, nah, man, that's not what happened. Well, he gave $90 million. $90 million. What's $90 million? $250 million. No, it's $90 million. No, he said it was $250 million. But Roland Martin was like, nah, it's not $250 million. It was $90 million of that $250 million went to HBCUs. And the rest was broken down to other minority or ethnic schools, like Latinos and Asian and so on and so forth. That's how the rest of that money was broken down. So then he was like, hold up. Because Biden and Harris was the one who gave all the money to the HBCUs since they've been in office. They've given $6 billion, more than $6 billion to HBCUs. If you're going to say that Donald Trump, who wrote it out and then had to sign a bill and couldn't get the bill to that wouldn't have come to him had he not have signed it with that $250 million in it. If he did great for black folk regarding that issue, then what do you put the Obama and Obama? I sound like Trump now. When Biden ran against Obama and I beat Obama, I sound like Trump, right? When Biden and Harris gave over $6 billion to HBCUs. That's crazy, right? And so the same BLM individual, right? He starts spouting off all this stuff. you gotta see it. You gotta see it. Roland Martin interview with BLM leader, and they're gonna give it to you. So they're talking. Anyway, they're talking. So he goes, he says something else, and he brings up this and he brings up that. And of course, everything he bring up, Roland Martin is checking, correcting him. And finally, Roland Martin goes, "What? You just make this up? I mean, you just make this out of the blue? You just make this up?" And he looks like a clown. And then he goes to the, "Well, you know, I never had to pay $10 for a dozen eggs. Like a moron. It's like this moron is just standing there. It's like, yo, dude, you are a moron, okay? And people don't be, because they are, and I'll tell you why. And I've explained this, and I'll keep explaining why I call them morons and idiots. Because no matter what you show them, no matter what you tell them, what they show you, and you break it down for them, and it does not lean in their favor, you know what their response is? So I don't care. The guy is being prosecuted at a time he was charged with 88 felons. I don't care. It's a hoax. It's BS. Everything you say, it doesn't matter the evidence that you show them. We're not even talking about Eugene Carroll. I'm not talking about Eugene Carroll. I'm not talking about that $88 million he had to pay for that. I'm just talking about the felonious charges from the records, from classified documents, the Georgia election fraud, the election fraud that has to do with the what they call a hush money, but that wasn't a hush money trial. That's downplaying what it really was. What it really was an election finance charge. Because it's not the fact that, and I said this before, it's not the fact that he paid off a porn star or whatever, a mistress or whatever. It's not the fact that he paid off. No. And he didn't pay off. Michael Cohen paid off, right? That's not the problem. It's not, if he did what Bill Clinton did with Paula Jones, remember Paula Jones? That was somebody who Bill Clinton had an affair with, right? And he paid her off, I forgot, $200,000. It's not the same as what Donald Trump did, because Bill Clinton went into his and Hillary Clinton, into their savings, into their money, not into their business money, right? Not into no campaign money. They went into their private, like the private billions of dollars that Donald Trump said he got. They went into that and got $200,000 and said, here, we don't hear no more. She signed the paper, boom, that was it. It's not like that. Donald Trump didn't do that. When Michael Cohen paid off Stormy Daniels, the horse-faced whore that he paid $100,000 to sleep with, $100,000, you slept with that horse. You saw, whenever you call her a whore, think about it. Your man paid $100,000 to sleep with that whore, $100,000. So I would really want to think about that, right? Before you start talking condescending about her, okay? Think about that, because your man paid $100,000. But like I was saying, that's not the problem. And they call it hush money, but it's not hush money. It had to do with campaign financing. What was the problem? The problem is that instead of going to his billions and billions of dollars that he claimed he had, he took campaign money to reimburse Michael Cohen. That's finance. That's campaign finance fraud. That's a whole different level. Had he went into his billions and billions of dollars, took some of his property or went to some of his property and said, hey, give Mike $150,000 or $200,000 and that would be no problem. It wasn't hush money. It's not about hush money. It's about how he went to pay off Michael Cohen. That's where the federal charges came in. And one led to another, another led to another, and it just escalated. That's what the problem is. And he was convicted of what? 34 charges. Of what? By whom? A jury. A jury that was agreed upon by the district attorney, New York district attorney, even though these are federal charges, they are under New York. It was agreed upon by the district attorney and his legal representation. So those 12 people that was in that grand jury was agreed upon. He'll say, no, it was a setup in New York. No. You, the defendant, you agreed on your legal representation. That means you, your people representing you, him, Donald Trump, agreed on it. So when people come up, oh, no, that's liberal, blah, 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 blah. No. You all agreed on all 12 of them. Only thing they had to say was, no, I don't want that person. Boom, gone. I don't want that person. Boom, gone. But no, they didn't say that. They said, no, we want that person. Donald, you did it. You agreed upon those 12 people. So then you turn around and say, oh my God, no, it's not fair. It's rigged. It's tampering the DOJ. DOJ ain't got nothing to do with that. What's the DOJ? The DOJ is the Department of Justice, federal. It's not Biden's DOJ. It's not Biden's DOJ. I'm going to tell you. And here's why I call them morons and idiots. Because as simple as I say this, they ignore it. They disregard it because it does not fit their idiotic narrative or narratives. All right? So that being the case, that's why those 34 charges he was found guilty of. And why they haven't locked him up? Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. If you can find Hunter Biden guilty for a gun charge, that even on Fox News, the guest speakers on Fox News, those contributors, who was it? Trey Gowdy. You remember him? He was the one who led the hearings against the Benghazi hearings against Hillary Clinton. And he was like, you know what? This is garbage. What? This is garbage. This is BS. Because if his name was not Biden, it wouldn't have even went to trial. It wouldn't have even went to trial. See, 2 tiers of justice. See, that tier and this tier. But it's not, like I said before, it's not 2 tiers, it's multi-tiers. Because if you think about the people who did all of this, working with the DOJ, they were all Trump appointees. Yes, all of them. From the prosecuting attorney, Donald Trump appointee, even though he's working with even though he's in the DOJ, the judge was Donald Trump appointed. Yeah. Did y'all know that? Yeah. But y'all don't scream, oh, bias rigged, right? Where the Second Amendment people at? Where the Second Amendment people at? Man, you hypocrites. You hypocrites. They talking about locking somebody up for a gun charge. That's crazy. Talking about 26 years for a gun charge. And you Second Amendment individuals out there talking that trash. Stop it. You hypocrites with your phony false rage. Anyway, let's go on, man. I think I did this part with the edited Biden photo clip. What they should have just called it clickbait. Yeah, we talked about that, right? Showing the president looking out into space, right? But then when you look at the big picture, you see, hold up, there's about 15, 20 people right behind him. Because he's looking that way, so they're right behind him. When the lady came to him, she's like, "Oh, Mr. President, we have to go." He had actually been talking to some people who was out in that direction in front of him, who was doing work. You know, the average person, you know, the blue collar person. They was messing with the grades because I think they were in the they were in France, the memorial where they have the fallen soldiers, the American fallen soldiers. Every president except for Donald Trump has gone to there. Every president except for Donald Trump has gone there. What a piece of scuzzball. Yeah, he's a scuzzball. And you support him with all your heart. Oh, he's so patriotic. He don't care about you. He don't care about this country. His whole agenda, future agenda, said, you know what? We're going to fire everybody on the top from the DOJ, and we're going to put all our stooges in there. We're going to put all yes men in there. Wow. We're going to scrap the Constitution because I'm the president. You're the president, but the Constitution said you are not the king. But they're going to ignore. They're going to disregard the president, and they're going to continue weaponizing. They're going to really weaponize until they get a Gestapo type military presence in there. Yeah, because believe it or not, this phony cry of DOJ being weaponized, you know who really weaponized it? Donald Trump. And I'll tell you when he weaponized it. He weaponized it after Michael Cohen was supposed to be leaving prison after serving 2 years for, towing the line for the rat, for the former rat in chief, because that's what he is. Donald Trump is a rat. He's a rat. He's a rat, and I'll get into that in a minute. I'll get into it in a few minutes. He weaponized it when he told Bill Barr to keep Michael Cohen in prison, because Michael Cohen wanted to write a book. He was going to write a book. He said, no, you can't write that book. But then it's like, yeah, you can. And why could he write the book? Even though Donald Trump was probably going to be in there, some of his things and shenanigans was in there, guess what? It had nothing to do with the federal government. Because whenever somebody come out, they deal with the federal government, they want to write a book, it has to be vetted. It literally has to be vetted by the government. They got to say no, yes, no, no. They got to check. They got to check off things. If they don't check off things, guess what? It can't go in there. If they don't approve it, it can't go in the book. That's the federal government. You can't be out there talking about, well, the plans for the invasion of Iran. You can't be doing that. You can't be putting information or what happened that led up to it. Oh, well, we sat down on this date and this time, and we thought about all this, and we raided right before we did the raid on Iraq or Afghanistan. No, you can't. They got to vet and say whether it's okay or not, but not Michael Cohen's book, because Michael Cohen's book was writing about personal experience not with the president. And even if he did, he could still write about it, because he was never privy to the internal workings of the federal government or the White House or the duties that was carried out or planned on within the White House or by the president. So this is all private. But because Donald Trump didn't want it, they had him in there. He had Bill Barr, keep Michael Cohen in jail. What did Michael Cohen do? Well, this is going to sound like really radical, like some real woke stuff. Michael Cohen told his lawyer, dude, what's going on? And his lawyer, you know what he did? He went to work. And he went to a judge and he said, listen, Your Honor, what are you doing? They're trying to keep my client in jail For what? He did his time. He could have dealt with the government or whatever, but everything's up, it's above board right here. So what are we doing? You know what the judge did? Told him, release him. Release Michael Cohen. Now, no, not today. I mean, not tomorrow, not in a week, right now. Release him today. Right now. Release him. Boom. So who's really weaponized the federal government, the DOJ? Donald Trump. He literally weaponized the DOJ. Everything else, like I said, the records. We know about the records. They added a few charges on there. You know what? They could probably add another 100 charges because he lied to the federal government. He lied. He lied to federal officials, government officials. When he told them, no, I gave back all the records. Hold it. The lawyer did that. But you told the lawyer. The lawyer went on your word. You lied to the lawyer. And since the lawyer was representing you and they took those lies to the federal government, guess what? Those lies are on you, on him, on Donald Trump. He's not the victim. I'm the victim. He's not. He's a dork. He's a dork and a moron. He is. He is. He lied. Those lies are on him. Should you accept that guilt for him or share into it? Only if you're an idiot or a moron. I'm sure because he's a rat. Let me tell you about snitches and rats. A snitch is somebody who goes around and gives out information. Blah, blah, blah. That's a snitch. That's a snitch for profit or some benefit to themselves. That's a snitch. All right? Snitch. Here's a rat. A rat is somebody who's going in there, getting involved, part of it, and then to save their skin, they turn on everybody else. Or they turn their backs on somebody who is loyal to them. That's a rat. Those are rats right there. That's a fact. Like, who was it? Who was the guy? There was the singer, producer from the Neptunes, Pharrell. Pharrell. Y'all heard about Pharrell, bing, with the Neptune sound. They were talking about, because they were talking about a lot of snitches going on in the hip hop industry, right? And Pharrell was like, listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, man. I don't care. I don't want to see anything. Don't tell me anything, because they ask me anything, I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna give it up. That's not a rat. That's a civilian letting you know that he's a civilian, right? That's not a rat. That's not a snitch. That's somebody who's telling you, I don't care, I don't want to see it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not that dude that you want to give that information to, because I don't want anything to do with it, because I'm gonna tell whatever you say, whatever they say. If you told me, that's what it is. That's not a snitch. He's a civilian, and he's letting you know. Here's another thing. When a civilian goes and says, oh, no, they're selling drugs over there, blah, blah, that's not a snitch. That's not a snitch. If they see an incident that happened and they inform the law enforcement agents, that's not a snitch. That's a civilian doing their thing. That's what they're civilians. A snitch is somebody who goes and gather information for their own personal gain and provide and pass that information over to somebody. That's a snitch. A rat is somebody who's down with it and then give up everything or everybody else just to save their skin. That's a rat. Or, like I said, somebody of a higher stature who shows disloyalty to somebody who look out for him, which is what Michael Cohen did for Donald Trump. He bit the bullet for Donald Trump. He didn't have to. Michael Cohen did not have to. If Donald Trump was loyal and wasn't a rat, I was going to say the B word, and Donald Trump wasn't a rat, right? Michael Cohen spent one month, 1 week, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second in prison. And here's why. Because he was prosecuted by the DOJ. There wasn't just federal charges. There were federal charges brought on by the federal government. You have federal charges on 2 different levels. You have the state level, right? And that within the state level. And then you have on the federal level. The federal level is the main one. The ones on the state level, only the governor of that state can pardon you. If it's on the federal level, only the president can pardon you. So as soon as they found Michael Cohen guilty, Donald Trump could have said, you know what? I pardon you. Boom. That would have been it. There wouldn't have been no 34 finance charges because that only came afterwards, after they cut a deal with Michael Cohen. There wouldn't have been no 34 charges. He would not be a convicted felon right now. Donald Trump would not be a convicted felon right now because there wouldn't have been anything to go with. You understand? You get what I'm saying? But here's the reality. MAGA, make attorneys get attorneys. I know y'all make America great again. No, make attorneys get attorneys. You know where they come from? There's this podcast, this webcast. They called the Midas Touch, and they're a bunch of attorneys, right? Practicing, private and stuff like that. And they started this podcast or webcast called the Midas Touch, right? They got like almost 3 million viewers now, 3 million subscribers. And yeah, they came up with the term, make attorneys get attorneys. Because if you think about it, Donald Trump has had more attorneys represent him and then end up in legal binds of themselves where they done lost their license. Off the top of my head, Rudy Giuliani. You got 4 down in you got 1, 2, 3. You got Ken Chesebro and a couple other people down in Georgia. You got a couple more people that he had right on a federal level. They lost their licenses. It's like, so they're like, yeah, make attorneys get attorneys. It's like, that's crazy, right? But it's true. It's funny. It's funny, but it's kind of messed up, right? Yeah, it's kind of messed up. But they brought it on themselves, right? They thought that this guy was real, but only after they lost their license, they realized, I don't know, what the heck was I thinking? Because he's a good guy. He's a con man. He's a con man. He is a shyster. He's good at what he do. He is. See, a lot of people, they don't remember the old days where you got the W.C. Fields, man. That's him. Ralph Cramden. That's Donald J. Trump in a nutshell. Only he's an evil version of those guys. Those guys were con men and so on and so forth. But Ralph Cramden and the Jackie Gleason show, Ralph Cramden, bada boom, bang zoom, to the moon with your Allison. And W.C. Fields, there's a sucker born every day. I think he was the one that said, for a sucker not to be deprived of their money is a sin. It's like, what are you? What? What? Yeah, you think about that. Think about that. And that's the mentality. And Donald Trump has screwed so many people over, man, it ain't even funny. But like I said, I keep saying these are monsters of his own making, right? Had he just taken that a couple $100,000 from his private billions of dollars that he has on the side, or took some, from his real estate, a loan on one of his real estate, and just gave it to Michael Cohen, no problem. No, he took the money from the what? From the finance. That's where the problem came. 34 charges. Boom, 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 boom. But the good thing is that now he's no longer accused of 34 felonious charges. The bad thing is that, he's guilty of them. He's guilty of them. A hiccup. Yeah, a hiccup. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's my time?
You still have time.
Okay, all right. Can I get time? Can I get time for you?
You have lots of time. How much is a lot of time?
Yeah, can I get time for it?
12:33. You have approximately
27
16 minutes.
What?
16
minutes. He says 16 minutes.
Yeah, it's 60 minutes.
60 minutes or 50 minutes. Yeah.
Let him know when it's 10.
Yeah, let me know when it's 10.
Okay, heard.
Hey, look, I told you for a long time it was a work in progress when we start getting things going. Okay, now we're at that point where it's like, we got to reset. We're not really resetting, but we got, it's a glitch. Yeah, it's a glitch. Don't worry. But we're going to support everybody.
You just don't understand our end of it.
Yeah, that's all.
He just shows up as a host and then expects magic.
Thank you. And I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to hear all the yawns. I'm like, yeah. I need to hear
people tuning out as we speak.
Yeah, but don't take them out. Don't take out those sound effects, because don't be like, John, next time you talk about me, don't worry, we're good. Hey, can I see your hand? Closer. That's the new it hand. All right. Is it okay?
Thing.
The new thing hand.
Thing. You remember Addams Family?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new thing hand. All right.
This hand was recently put in a commercial.
We're going.
Just so you know.
That's so sexy.
The hand.
What was it about?
Just the hand, or like the whole body?
Just the hands.
No, just the hands.
Just my hands.
That sounds wow.
Well, that's like a hand model.
Like,
George Costanza was a hand model.
That's like sexy. Yeah. You got sexy fingers, man.
So next time I put my hands in your shot, I'm gonna have to send you an invoice, Keith.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna send you back an invoice. I forgot what I was sending an invoice for, but I knew I had to send an invoice for something. I'm gonna offset it. What we saying? Juneteenth. Got to get to Juneteenth. Wow. When people start talking all that trash about what Trump did, let's forget that. He did nothing for black people or white people, right? Except for juice them, right? That's it. Because he's a con man. But for those who didn't know, I think I mentioned this a few times, Joe Biden and the Harrison administration gave more than $6 billion to HBCUs. That's the most any president or all the other presidents combined, and still more than any of them combined, right? All of them combined, over $6 billion, right? But it's not just that. When you ask what Biden has done for black folk, then I had a conversation the other day with my neighbor. I'm saying he did more for black folk than Donald Trump did. Donald Trump screwed up the whole nation. so did
he do more than Obama?
Oh, Trump?
No, Biden.
Actually, yeah. He's doing a little better than Obama. But Obama inherited a near total shutdown recession, right? And which 27, get this number, between losses of job income and homes, right? You have people losing their homes, condominium, their houses. $27 trillion of wealth loss under George Bush. Yeah, he caused a recession that over $27 trillion of wealth was lost, and that's what Obama had to deal with. Barack Obama had to deal with. Obama, Biden had to deal with. And when you heard all those hosts like a Sean Hannity talking about, oh, maybe we should just go into a full-blown, not recession. What's that other thing that happened in the 1900? I mean, the early part of the year.
Stock market crash.
The stock market, but that was only part of it. That was only part of it. The stock market crash. The depression, the Great Depression. Thank you very much. The Great Depression.
We want to go into another depression. Is that what we want?
That's what they were talking about. Let it go into another depression.
Let it go into another depression.
And
let's just let it go.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because
you have 10 minutes left.
Usually you give him a hand signal for that, but yeah,
that's okay.
Usually you go like this.
You got you got to do fingers, man. You don't just flash the fingers. It's a countdown. Tell me about the countdown.
It's like this. It's like this. He's talking, and then you kind of go like, and then he looks off camera for a second, then he goes back to what he was doing.
Yeah. Otherwise,
in a perfect world.
Otherwise, you got me getting John pissed off at me because I'm like, what? Keith, look at the camera. Look at the camera. So
it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. The work depression. They wanted it to go into a full-blown depression. Why? Now, like I said, I'm going to tell you why. Because Sean Hannity money and a lot of these very, very wealthy, rich people, money is tied into stocks, basically a lot of gold, right? And here's the deal. After the Great Depression, you heard about the stock market crash. The stock market zeroed out. The stock market zeroed out. But because of that, and there's this old saying, it's going to sound kind of racist, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jews and their money.
Wait a minute.
I told you it's going to sound, they said, oh, no. It will never happen again. That's why when the attack on 9/11 happened and the stock markets went crazy, right? And they started to drop because it was at like, I think it was like a little bit over 11,000, close to 12,000. The Dow Jones. I'm talking about the Dow Jones. When I say that, I'm talking about the Dow Jones, and it was dropping. They closed Wall Street. They hit like 9,000, dropped 2,000 points. They closed Wall Street. They opened it back up. It dropped another 1,000 points. They closed Wall Street again. They opened it back up.
Too much uncertainty.
Right, too much uncertainty. And when it hit 7,000, that was it. They closed it. I don't know if you remember, but Wall Street, I think, was closed like a week. That's the checks and balances. You're not going to zero out ever again. And what happened was that a lot of stocks from 100% dropped down 25%, 50%. You know what I'm saying? That's what the stocks did. They dropped down. So then once they drop down to that, if you got money, what do? You go buy those 50%, those 75% stocks. Why? Because within a few years, because of the checks and balances that's in the stock market, that was built into the stock market, they're going to go back up to that 100%. So you just bought a stock that's worth $1,000 for $500. You got $1 million and you drop $1 million on that stock. What you have in 2-3 years? You got $2 million that's tied into that because now it's gone back up. That 50%, once it goes back up to 100%, you put $1 million in there, it's going to get you up to $2 million for that stock. I was just talking to someone the other day, my neighbor, and I love my neighbor. I love him. But we're like, I don't know, two ends of the spectrum. He's like, you see me, you see how I talk, right? Yeah, it makes sense we talk. He's like MAGA. He's like MAGA. And he started talking, we were talking about the stocks, and I'm like, he goes, yeah, well, Joe Biden effed up the economy. I'm like, no, he didn't. He goes, well, who did? Donald Trump. You say Donald Trump messed up the economy. Yeah, I'm saying Donald Trump messed up the economy, dude. Yeah, he messed it up. And I told him, because when he came in bragging about or complaining about the economy and started bragging about it, he was benefiting from the Obama-Biden economy that was trending down even as he took it. So when it bottomed out, it was going to bottom out no matter who was in office, whether it was Trump or Hillary Clinton, right? Because those were the two. Those were the only choices you had, was Trump or Hillary Clinton. So it was going to bottom out. So those numbers where it bottomed out at the lowest, it was going because of Obama, Biden. So the Obama economy was the second best economy in the last 40 to 50 years. The number one economy is the Biden-Harris economy. Think about that. But you can't tell the MAGA people go, oh, I don't care. That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. I actually showed them. I literally showed them the stock market. I told them, look, the stock market Dow Jones just clipped 40,000 a few weeks ago. It did? It did? Yeah, it clipped 40,000 points. Dude, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? And I actually said this. I don't know what's going on, but if you're losing money in this stock market, and this stock market nowadays, then you need to talk to whoever's handling your finances, because nobody should be losing money like that. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about stocks. You can't go in and say, "Oh, I'm gonna put it in here for a week and see how it goes." No, because that stock may drop down, 15 points. In from stock to stock, 15 points is like $1. $1 is a point, right? So that stock might drop down, whatever, $30 today, but tomorrow it might be up $35 or $40, which means that over a period of time, you're going to gain money. So if you got any money to put in the stock market, here's my recommendation for you. Don't put it in there if you're not going to put it in for a long term, for the long overhaul. Can I get another one on that? Whoa, what was that about? I'm shocked that I got that. But if you're going to, again, no, seriously, if you're going to invest in stocks, I don't care how much you put in there, you're going to have to put it in there for the overhaul, the long overhaul. You can't put it in there for like a day or a week or whatever, or even a month, because it goes quarterly to quarterly to show you how good or how bad a stock did. Okay? So you got to take that in consideration. And that's something that you owe right now to Biden. If you're making money in the stock right now, that's Biden. That's part of the Biden economy. Other than 900,000 jobs that was created in factory that had gone under Trump, think about that. The 15 million plus jobs that has come back or have been created under Biden that was lost under Trump. Are you aware that Trump was the only president in U.S. history since the Great Depression, the Great Depression, that left office with a negative jobs? That means that he left office with less jobs than he created. Think about that. But when you tell people, and that's why I keep telling people, this is why I call people, certain people, morons and idiots, because it doesn't matter what you say. It just doesn't matter. So why am I going to sugarcoat it when they're going to call me every name under the sun? Just because I speak the truth. Oh, you're woke. Yeah, I am woke. Well, I'm not woke. I know. I know. I agree.
Woke is very misused, and it's kind of a stupid word, really. But
that's my Dave Chappelle look.
It's misused. It's a misused word.
It's misused. It's been given a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's my example that I'm giving to people about
Make
woke.
it quick.
Here it goes. What's the first thing you do in the morning?
You woke up.
You woke up or you wake up, right? You wake up. That's the first thing you do in the morning. Okay. That's the first thing you do in the morning is you wake up. If you don't wake up, if you're not woke, then you're asleep. That's how it is. And if you sleep, people can do whatever they want around you if you're willing to allow them to do it. And that's the only time they can do it is when you are asleep. They can play you for suckers and play you like Fiddle on the Roof. They can play you, right? This is no black and white movie. This is no old, you know what I'm saying? They put all the sound effects, but yeah, it is what it is. Yo, give me that heart. Give me that dum 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 dum. Ready? Here we go. FDDD, 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 FDDD. There we go, man. It's out there. Let me see if I could stop my stream here.
Stop
In my
recording.
screen.
Stop streaming.